Okay, again this encoder is a combination circuit. Of course it is a digital circuit. Okay, so this encoder performs the inverse operation of a decoder. Okay, so see, in a decoder we have n inputs and then we had 2 to the power n outputs. Now we are going to do the inverse operation. So that means in the encoder we have 2 to the n inputs and we will be having only n outputs. That's it. So this is my encoder. Okay, so an encoder has 2 power n inputs. Sometimes we may have less number of inputs also. Not necessarily one should have 2 power n inputs. Sometimes we may have less than 2 power n also. Okay, so we have 2 power n input lines and n output lines. So this is my basic representation of an encoder. Okay, so here the output lines, this output lines generate the binary code. Okay, binary code corresponding to the input values. See, in the decoder case, what had happened, you have x, y, z. Suppose if you give 0, 0, 1 or 0, 1, 1, this binary code corresponds to 3. So in that case D3 will be equal to 1, isn't it? Therefore your decoder converts your binary input to a corresponding digit. Similarly here input digits, or input is nothing but digit and output is nothing but a corresponding binary code. Okay, so the best example is an octal to binary encoder. You can construct many like that. Okay, so the best example of an encoder is octal to binary encoder. So basically the encoder is used to generate the binary codes of a given digit. Okay, the given number system. The given number system can be hexadecimal or decimal or octal or whatever it is. Like the practical example is if you have a calculator. So you have buttons, right? 1, 2, 3 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. Now if you press 4, then corresponding binary digits or binary bits are generated. Okay, so in the keypad we have an encoder. So wherever you have keypad, okay, in your computer you have keyboard, right? In the mobile phone you have keypad, and in the calculators, in your computer keyboards, and then in your mobile phones. Even if you take some practical example like washing machines, there also you will be having some buttons, right? Start, stop, all those things. So for that, when you press certain button, then the corresponding binary bits will be generated. Suppose if I press 4 in this button, then if I take 4 bit representation, then 0, 1, 0, 0 will be generated. If I press 6, then 0, 0, 1, 1. Am I correct? Yes. No. 0, 1, 1, 0. That's how the encoder helps us to generate the binary codes. So wherever you have the interface from human being to the machine, then definitely there we will be having an encoder. So that is the application of our encoder. Okay, now to make our life very simple, I am going to take a 8 input to 3 output encoder. Okay, that means I have 2 power 3 input. So this 8 input is what do you call? This is called octal number system. Okay, so in the octal number system 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and the corresponding binary outputs one can generate. Okay, so it has 8 inputs, one for each of the octal digits. Okay, these are my octal digits, and 3 outputs. Okay, then 3 outputs corresponds to binary number. If I press 3, then 0 1 1 will be generated. So it is assumed that only one input has a value of 1 at any given time. That means what? You can't press 2 buttons at a time by taking any device, even though if you press it, but there will be some time delay. Okay, for example, take your calculator and press 0 and 1 simultaneously, but there will be small amount of time delay that either 0 will be pressed first or 1 will be pressed first. Okay, so you can't press 2 buttons at the same time. Of course, we will not do that, but I am telling you. Okay, so you will press any one button at a time. So that button will be activated. Okay, now this encoder implementation is very simple. Okay, it needs only one logic gate, that is OR gate. Implementation is very simple. Okay, so implementation of the OR gate is very simple. So the encoder can be implemented with OR gates, and now we need to determine what are the inputs to this OR gate. That we will see. Now let me take the inputs D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. Now let me press 1 here, D0 I press 1, but the rest of the terms will be 0. I can't press first button, second button, third button, fourth button, fifth button and sixth or seventh button. Now let me press button 1, D1, and the remaining inputs are 0 0. That means what? In a keyboard you can't press more than 1 at a time. So any one will be active at a time. So it's very simple to fill this truth table. 0 0 0. I am going to press now D5, then 0 0. Now I am going to press D6, isn't it? And then here I am the last one, I am going to press 1. Now I should generate the corresponding outputs X, Y and Z. Now if I press D0, I should generate 0 0 0 here. Then if I press 1, then I should generate 0 0 1. And for this one 0 1 0, and this one 0 1 1. Let me draw a line so that we will not get confused. I am getting confusion because of this. I can't see the screen properly. Okay, fine. Okay, this is digit 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, for if I press 4, then I should have 1 0 0. If I press 5, I will be having 1 0 1. Press 6, 1 1 0, 7 1 1 1. That's it. Pretty good, pretty simple. Okay, and then I need to find out the expression for X Y Z in terms of inputs. That also very simple. Okay, in terms of inputs. Now what is X? See, X will be 1 when you press D4. Look at here, when you press D4, X will be 1. When you press D5, X will be 1. When you press D6, X will be 1. When you press D7, X will be 1. Rest of the combinations, this is 0. Look at here, these are zeros, so don't consider. Therefore my X is nothing but D4 plus D5 plus D6 plus D7. Very simple. What about Y? If you look at the Y combination, okay, Y will be 1 when you press D2. Okay, and Y will be 1 when you press D3, right? And again here y will be 1 when you press D6, and again this is 1 when you press D7. Therefore my y is going to be D2 plus D3 plus D6 plus D7. Similarly, you can write z. This z is going to be D1 plus D3 plus D5 plus D7 z. Okay, now I got the simple expressions. Okay, so you take D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7. Okay. Now what is x? X is D4, D5, D6, D7, right? Therefore, you take D4, D5, D6 and then D7. Okay. Give it to 4 input OR gate. This is my x. And what about y? Y is D2, D3, D6, D7. You take, let me choose some other color, D2 and then D3, D5. Let me take the output here, D5 and then D7, right? Yes, take D7 and give it to an OR gate. This is y. What about z? Z is D1, D1, D3, D3, D5 and then D7. That's it. This is z. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Okay, so you can implement the encoder, octal to binary encoder. Now the thing is, at a given time only one input should be active. You cannot press two inputs at a time. So that is a constraint. Okay, that is a limitation in fact. In case what happens if somebody press two keys at a time, two buttons at a time in your calculator or in your mobile phone or in your keyboard. For example, in your keyboard you press two keys simultaneously like Alt F4 or Windows function plus lock, like that you have to press two buttons at a time. So in that case, how will you design an encoder? So that is a drawback in this one. So it has very limited applications. It can't handle multiple simultaneous functions. So in that case, we need to somehow modify the given circuit such that it can handle when you press two buttons or two keys at a time. So that's the drawback of this type of encoders. Okay, so it has a limitation that only one input can be active at any given time. If somebody wants to press two buttons or two keys at a time, then you need to modify this circuit in such a way it should handle. So that modified circuit is called priority encoder. So that we will discuss in the next lecture. But before that, let me give you a brief introduction or brief operating principle of this priority encoder now. Okay, so for example, in case if I want to press D3 and D6 simultaneously, then what is going to happen? For in this case, D3 is, let's say, 0 1 1 and D6 is 1 1 0, right? So now if D3 and D6 are 1 simultaneously, then what is going to happen? The output of the encoder will be what? In this case, if you look at D3 D6, so D3 is 1, D6 is 1, right? If both are 1, in this case output will be 1 1 1, because all three inputs are equal to 1. Look at here. If you take this column D3, D3 and D6. If you press D3 1, so here the output is 1, and D6 the output is 1. Okay, so one second, hold on, I am getting a little confusion. D3, one second. Just to hold on. D3, okay, this is, yeah, correct, I got it now. Let me delete this. I'm sorry. Okay. Now if you press D3, okay, if you press D3, this one, now this is 1 and this also 1. If you press D6, if this is 1, if you press D6, this will be 1. In this case, these two bits are 1. And this combination is 1 and this combination 1. That means what? All three inputs are 1. And this all three inputs, all three bits are 1. This represents a binary digit of 7. So there is some error in this. Okay. So either you should get the binary representation of 3, or you should get the binary representation of 6, but you are neither getting 3 nor 6, but you are getting something 7. So there is some error. So there is some type of ambiguity. Okay, so this encoder provides some type of ambiguity when you press more than one button simultaneously. Somehow you need to resolve this ambiguity. So for that you have to design an encoder, and that encoder resolve this. Such type of encoder is called a priority encoder, that we will discuss in the next lecture. Okay, so let me stop here. Thank you very much.